Yeah, hi there. And these comments are for one of my students in my online TOEFL course, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. So you kind of did an outline of the integrated writing practice test that we talked about, and I'm looking at it right now. So in body paragraph 1, you say the reading passage. Actually, let's go to the beginning. The idea of homeschooling a student may seem like a good idea to teach and guide students through coursework of history, math, English, and science. That doesn't really connect. You're not connecting the main point from the reading passage in the lecture. So if you did that in the introduction, it would look something like this. It would say the article shows that homeschooling has negative effects on students more than the positive ones. However, the speaker in the listening passage casts the doubt on the reasons given by the article and replies on each one of them. So this is a sample of a student who got 4.0 out of 5 on this particular practice test. So for you, you have to make sure that you're stating the reading and the listening passage, and that you state what the main point is of both of these passages, and you did not do that in the introduction. Alright, let's take a look at body paragraph 1. She said the reading passage says it deprives many students of social interaction with others and it's time to teach your children. Yes, that's exactly what the reading passage says. You say the lecture, it says students learn to interact and get along with other students and work in groups to solve the problems, but you're not showing that this disagrees with this information. So you're not exactly making the connection that you need to make. So if you did make that connection, it might be something like this. You'll say the article claims that homeschools deprive students of social interaction. Then you say, on the other hand, the speaker points to some top paid jobs that do not need social interaction like accounting, and so on. So this one I think is a little bit better at showing how the lecture is different from the information in the reading passage. So you could probably do a little bit better job. I like what you said here, but you need to be more explicit what you're saying here, showing how this information is different. Okay. The next paragraph says the reading passage says the concept or success of a homeschool is introduced and managed by irresponsible students. Yes, the reading passage says that. You say the lecture says the credentials and time to teach your children unfortunately irresponsible parents. You're not exactly making the connection I'm trying to get you to make here. So the lecture is saying that most parents who homeschool children are responsible, not irresponsible. And even though parents may not be fully qualified to teach their children, the homeschools allow students to have access to teachers on a daily basis, right? So you're not exactly making the connection in the lecture, showing how it relates to the information in the reading. So if you did that, it might sound something like this. You're saying that the article mentions that most parents are responsible and homeschool students will have less quality of education. Then it says, in contrast, the speaker, this is where you're having trouble, the speaker replies by saying that it is a minimum percentage of parents who are irresponsible. That is very good. You did not say that. That would have helped you better make the connection. It says teachers can easily instruct the students with help of technology and so on. So that would be my advice there of what you could do. Okay, so I think everything else is good. So I went through your essay, right? The last one, it says paragraph 3. It says the reading passage says the writer's homeschool prevents students from being punctual and responsible. And then the lecture says the routine and regimen of being on time and deadlines is a positive result of public and private schools, and responsibility translates to students' future careers. But you're still not really saying what the lecture is talking about. So it looks like where you're having the most trouble is when you're talking about the information from the lecture. So you need to be better at being able to listen and to jot down those key ideas. So if we look at the final one here, it says, you already talked about the reading passage, which is fine, but then it says, however, the speaker believes that homeschool students are independent and self-controlled. They work on their stuff by themselves, which will give them the ability to work on their academics independently, right? So that's kind of what is being said in the lecture, and you didn't really point out that information. Okay, now the question is, how would you score on this particular essay? So the main thing is, you're having the most trouble. Where you're having the most trouble, this is important for you. It means your academic listening is not as good as it could be. Right? So I think sometimes it says, your response has left out important information from the lecture. I think that is the key. So that's really what's going to bring your score down. Now, I'm going to give you 100% for completing the assignment, but if this were the midterm, I would probably put you closer to 2.0 out of 5 or 14 points out of 30 on this. Now, what does that mean? If this were the midterm, a 2.0 is going to give you a score of 64%. So what do? Between now and the midterm exam, you need to improve your listening skills. You need to be able to jot down what the main notes are from the lecture. Remember that we listened to the lecture, I think 3 times or 2 times in class, and you're expected to be able to understand those ideas and get those down in note form. So if you can't do that, your score is going to be lower than what you might want. All right?